So today I wanted to teach you about the difference between foundations, tinted moisturizers, and beauty balm creams. And I know that a lot of people have a couple different questions about these, and beauty balm creams are probably the newest to be kind of the trend within the makeup world and stuff like that. And it can kind of be kind of confusing because we know that these all go on our face and we know that they all cover, but what's the difference and which one is best for you? So I'm going to do my best to kind of keep this video short and answer some of the main questions about the differences between these three and try to give you guys the best answers to help you either make a purchase or stay away from one. So first off, who are each of these for? What kind of people? Now, it doesn't matter if you're a certain age, it doesn't matter if you have oily skin or dry skin, or if you're a boy or a girl. There is going to be a different foundation, a different tinted moisturizer, and a tinted beauty balm that will meet your needs. So you kind of need to know your skin and kind of address those concerns first. The main tips of who I have for is if you are acne prone, I would recommend a tinted moisturizer if you do not need super full coverage. If you do need fuller coverage, then you should go for one of these two. But a tinted moisturizer is probably going to be the most beneficial for your skin if you're prone to breaking out. Now, if you have a little bit more aged skin and your worries are sun damage, perhaps wrinkles, perhaps a little bit of radiance and stuff like that, I would recommend a beauty balm. These are a little bit thicker than tinted moisturizers, but not as full coverage as foundations. These are also great if you have wrinkles because they do have the SPF in them, as many tinted moisturizers do. They also have a little bit more coverage, and they usually have a couple other benefits such as maybe wrinkle plumping or redness reducing, etc., etc. For anyone, any age, acne prone, wrinkle prone or not, there's a foundation for just about anything. Foundation is generally more full coverage than either beauty balms or tinted moisturizers, and it's usually for those of you guys who want to cover up more. Now, you can mix a foundation with your regular moisturizer to come up with a tinted moisturizer, so if you don't want to go make a purchase and you already have a foundation, kind of experiment with what you have and see what works for you. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the texture. Foundation comes in liquid to powder forms, or it comes in liquid forms, and sometimes it comes in the compact form, or a powder foundation. As far as liquid is concerned, it's usually liquid foundation or liquid to powder foundation. Most of these foundations are very, very thick, or some of them are a bit thinner of a consistency, but still give medium to full coverage. Beauty balms are a little bit different. These are kind of in between a foundation and a tinted moisturizer. They're more full coverage than a tinted moisturizer, but generally less coverage than a foundation. Occasionally, beauty balms can be a tad bit greasy, but the main thing about them is that they usually have multi-action benefits or multiple benefits within one. Foundation sometimes has a little bit of SPF and maybe some minerals depending on the brand. A beauty balm is usually a little bit different because it will have a little bit of coverage, again not as much as a foundation, but much more than a tinted moisturizer. It will moisturize your skin like a tinted moisturizer does, but generally they also are very good for wrinkles, redness reducing, other pigment reducing, pigment evening, and other radiance, wrinkles, and kind of skincare issues. You can definitely find different beauty balms that do different things, but the main idea of a beauty balm is multiple skin benefits in one. Now, a tinted moisturizer is different from these because a tinted moisturizer is the lightest form. This is generally a little bit of tint in a moisturizer to moisturize your skin. This is great for dry skinned people, and because I like moisture for oily skin, I think these are great for oily skinned people or acne prone such as myself as well. The reason that I say that tinted moisturizers are the best for acne and beauty balms are the best for aged skin is because these have multiple benefits, and sometimes, depending on the brand, these can break acne sufferers out. There are some that are great for acne sufferers, but generally for aged skin these are better. Tinted moisturizers are also great for aged skin, but depending on the one you get, a little bit of the pigment might settle into a couple creases or lines if you do have aged skin. The reason that I love tinted moisturizers for acne is because they're generally lighter than foundation, they might have some SPF to help you out, and other than that it's usually just tint. So we don't have a bunch of skin plumpers or pigment reducers or stuff like that that might clog our skin. There's less ingredients, it's a little bit more pure, gets the coverage done, gets the SPF done, and it still gives us a bit of that essential moisture. So the other question is, how long do each of these last? Now, this is always going to differ if you add a primer, if you add a setting powder, depending on what you do before or after. Generally, out of these, foundation will be the longest lasting. Generally, foundation is meant for a full day's wear, 8 to 12 to even 16 or 24 hours. There are some that are HD, and foundations are generally best for photos because less amounts of them contain SPF. As far as every day, if you need the full coverage, then go ahead, but if you can get away with it, try for something that's less full coverage and that does have a sun protection factor. Beauty Balms last a less amount of time than a foundation, but more than a tinted moisturizer. The reason why is because Beauty Balms are a little bit of a thicker consistency. They're kind of the same thickness as a foundation, but because foundation is mainly pigment and a little bit of other stuff, and this is a lot of other stuff and a little bit of pigment, even though they have the same thickness, these ingredients will absorb into your skin more, so it's not as thick as your skin. In my experience, some beauty balms can be a little bit greasy, but you really just have to figure out which ones work best for you and which ones you like for your skin type. These will generally last between 4 and 8 hours, and of course you can prime or finish up powder or finish up spray to make that last longer. Last but not least is a tinted moisturizer, and these last about the least. I would say that these last between 3 and 6 hours, and if you really take care of them, you can probably get them to last 7 or 8 if you're really going to push it. Reason why is because this is basically pigment, sunscreen, and moisture. What happens when we apply our moisturizer at night? It soaks into our skin. Same thing here. So throughout the day, this tinted moisturizer is going to be soaking in through your skin, and that's a good thing because we need the moisture. The only problem is that when that happens, the rest of the pigment won't be as vibrant and as covering as it used to be. So throughout the day, you may need to give yourself a few touch-ups. Now, I still stress this for acne sufferers because, trust me, as an acne sufferer myself, I know that your acne is not as bad as you think it is. Other people are so concerned with themselves, they're not going to be looking at you. So if you're pretty much covered, and if you put your hair down and put some accessories on and have some eyes and some lips, people are going to look at you and not your skin. I think this is the best for acne just because it's less likely to break you out and still gives you that moisture that you need along with a little bit of coverage. It will last the least amount of time, and throughout the day it will soak in, but again, use a primer or use a setting powder to kind of combat that. And concealer with tinted moisturizer makes a great medium coverage look that really covers acne or other skin blemishes if you need this moisture and this reduction of other kind of ingredients in here. So that is kind of the difference between a foundation, a beauty balm, and a tinted moisturizer. If you guys have other questions, then feel free to let me know. Another question will probably be the price. The prices vary for everyone. I think that generally foundations are the most expensive, and then tinted moisturizers and beauty balms will kind of come in second place. But shop around, there's always coupons, and if you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I love you guys so much. I hope this video helped you, and I look forward to talking to y'all soon. Love you guys. Bye.